Alright, it's been almost 3 weeks since the Dream League Soccer 2025 update, which means it is time for me to give my 100% honest review of this update. I've had the time to experience the features in the new game, as well as gather my thoughts, so be sure to stick around to the end so you can hear my final ranking, which might actually surprise you. So let's go ahead and get this review started by talking about the generic features that they add in every single update. This year, the menus went from blue and pink to red and yellow, with De Bruyne being replaced by Alvarez as this year's cover stars. I like the colors and the overall look, and I also think the art team did a great job with all the new logos and the UI elements in each of the menus. As for the new card designs in Dream League Soccer 2025, I think they look very nice, even if they do look similar to EAFC's cards. Now, of course, I don't think these new card designs are perfect when you want to view their stats, and it goes back to that rectangular look that we're used to. The whole card is just like placed inside of it, and it's very hard to see their position and their rating. But overall, just looking at my team in their formation on the pitch with those newly shaped cards just looks really nice, and I can't deny it. We also saw some graphics improvements with new faces and stadium graphics. The constant improvements, keeping the game modern and just overall good looking, is always appreciated first touch games, so thank you. We also got some new animations on coaches and scouts, making those experiences just that much more exciting, along with the big animation change for the legendary agent, giving hints about who the player is, just like a walkout in FC. This new animation is a great change. I like it. I don't really have any issues with it, so great job on that one. In the new update, we also got new manager customization, so we can now change the faces, hair, skin color, as well as add some headgear, outfits, and glasses to our manager for a little bit of a price. It is a little bit annoying that in order to customize your manager, you do have to pay gems for it, but they are relatively cheap, and you know, those kit templates as well as logo templates also cost gems and coins, so you know what, it's fine, it's cheap, it's okay. And you know me, I love me some customization, so any extra customization always great, and having the ability to customize your manager is awesome. They also finally, after many requests, added more accommodation, now allowing us to have up to 64 players in each team as long as you upgrade the accommodation facility to its maximum level, which is not cheap. What they did was that they added 5 levels to the existing 5 levels instead of just changing it so that each level gave an extra 8 players instead of 4. So instead of getting all this extra player space for free, we have to pay even more gems to get even more players. It's a little annoying. Dream League Soccer also added controller support, making it finally possible to play with the controller officially without using any external software. At first, I was worried that this might be unfair for those playing online, but after using the controller for a while, I realized that the controls in Dream League Soccer are just so simple that I don't think using a controller is an actual advantage. Which means my only real criticism of this feature was that this controller doesn't do enough. It should do more, honestly. Playing Dream League Soccer with a controller was actually my first time I ever played a mobile game with a controller, so I'm definitely not an expert on what other games provide, or what is even possible with controller support on a mobile device, but being able to control every single menu with the controller, or at least be able to put on subs in the pause menu, would just be really cool. That'd be something for the future, possibly. And the other unfortunate thing you can't do with a controller is remap the buttons. So whatever buttons the game decides for you to use on your controller for the A, B, and C and all that stuff is the buttons you're stuck with. You can't change it. And I would hope that you could, but you can't. So there's definitely room for improvement for the controller support as of right now, but I mean, it still functions pretty solid, and I like the change. Along with the controller support, there is a new ranking system that came out in this update, which I guess is cool. It provides one more piece of information about your opponent online, which may or may not be helpful, but the real new feature that really came along with the ranks was the new friends list feature. Now, I'm pretty sure that the friends list only purpose is to show the ranks of you and your friends to see who's best. I think. I was honestly hoping you could challenge your friends to a friendly match directly from the friends menu, but you can't. which was disappointing to say the least. But I don't know, all you guys who have friends that play Dream League Soccer, was it disappointing for you? Let me know in the comments. New legendary stadiums were also added in this update, which was definitely unexpected to say the least. There are 3 legendary stadiums, all of which cost a decent chunk of money. I mean, granted, one of them does cost gems, but I don't know who has 1,250 gems just lying there willing to just spend it on a stadium. I really don't know who has that. But even if it seems sort of ridiculous to pay a lot of money for just a stadium in the game, this edition is fine with me because it's just adding something and it doesn't ruin anything. So, hey, you know, if you want to have a cool stadium and you have money lying around, sure, why not? Okay, so far we went through the features, you know, normal opinions, nothing too big, normal update so far, but that was not what this update was really about. The big feature of Dream League Soccer 2025 was obviously the classic players and the prize ladder, so let's talk about that. First of all, I want to say that I think classic players were a great addition to the game, no matter how you get them, okay? Just thinking about classic players in the game in Dream League Soccer 2025 is just great. You can't deny it. Now, that being said, how the classic players were implemented in Dream League Soccer definitely surprised me. I honestly did not picture getting them in a beefed up season pass that was free. But here we are. The prize ladder overall, I think, is a good addition to the game in like the most general way possible. Because when you really think about it, what it comes down to is that it allows active, free-to-play players to progress and get actual good rewards for playing the game. But here's the thing. I would have thought that this is what the season pass was meant for. Like, they even added dream point boost to go along with the prize ladder, which is typically something you see in the season passes of games. So why is it in the prize ladder? Like, when the season pass was first introduced back in Dream League Soccer 2021, I was expecting something like the prize ladder more than the season pass we currently have, which is kind of funny. My main criticisms I had for the season pass was that there weren't specific challenges that helped you progress through it. Granted, there are now, sort of, I guess. And my other criticism was that the seasons weren't long enough. But now that we have the prize ladder, it is essentially the long season pass I was looking for. However, the specific challenges that they sort of have to help you progress through the prize ladder and get dream points are just the weekly challenges. And the dream point reward that each weekly challenge gives is less than what you get from playing a single career mode, which makes no sense to me. It makes the weekly challenges not impactful at all in your prize ladder, especially because you need 200,000 dream points. What is 80? Who cares? And that's also not to mention that you only get 4 of these challenges per week. It's almost like they're just so insignificant, like why even bother? So essentially you have prize ladder, which has the longer season pass, but you don't have many challenges to really help you with that long season pass. And then you have the season pass, where it's not long, and you can actually, but you do have the challenges because it's a little bit smaller, it'll help you. So there's just 2 season passes with 2 separate problems, and I feel like they could just like be one with no problems. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. Now I get it, okay? The prize ladder is free, and we obviously don't want classic players behind a paywall, so it wouldn't be a good idea to merge the prize ladder and the season pass because of the season pass's paid element. That's not what I'm pitching for here. What I'm really saying is that I don't really care about the season pass's problems. We've dealt with that for over 3 years. I just want them to make the prize ladder to be slightly better by either giving more dream points for completed weekly challenges or have a separate tab in the challenges menu called prize ladder challenges with a long list of challenges, and various challenges, could be a bunch of weekly challenges, daily challenges, doesn't matter, that actually give out more than 80 dream points, probably even more than 140, making people actually want to do those challenges because it'll actually impact their prize ladder more than just playing a game. Because right now, since you almost get no dream points if you lose a game, the best use of your time if you want to upgrade your prize ladder is to just play career mode and win 5-0 over and over again, which gets very repetitive. You get 140 dream points from that, and if there's 200,000 that you need to get to finish the pass. It gets very boring and repetitive, and it would be nice to do something different to earn dream points instead of just playing games over and over again. And the only way to do that is to have challenges that actually benefit you more than playing a game. It's just the way I see it. But at the end of the day, you get classic players and various other rewards for free just by playing the game. You don't necessarily have to finish the prize ladder, so it's still a nice addition. They're helping you progress. It's just, I wish they did it a little bit differently. Then as for the new special coaches, I think having separate coaches for classic players was a good idea. I like how this further separates classic players from the regular players and gives them a more premium feel. However, I still do have two issues with them. The first one is that they are a bit expensive, to say the least. Now, I know you do get some of the coaches for free and the players for free in the prize ladder, so I get why they're so expensive with the gems, but their value seems just too little compared to the regular coaches, you know? Now, overall, I don't think that these prices need to be changed since, like I said, you do get some of the coaches for free and the players for free as well, but just because I think it shouldn't be changed doesn't mean I like it. I think that's just what it is. Now, the other issue I have with special coaches is that you actually don't get a choice of what stat you're actually upgrading. It's kind of a lie. When I first saw these special coaches, I genuinely thought I could pick the exact stats to upgrade each time. But nope, you actually get a choice between two random stats each time, and the stat you don't pick stays on as an option as your next stat choice. This means even special coaches still use RNG to pick how you upgrade your players. You just can't escape it in this game, huh? You can't. Like, I honestly don't understand why they couldn't just give us 8 options and you just, like, picked however many, depending on your common, rare, or legendary coach. Like, you just have to pick from 8, not from 2. What are you doing, man? Alright, enough about classic players, let's talk about the gameplay. As I've said before, I love how the second press mechanic actually makes the defenders steal the ball this time, now making it an actual control that I use while I play. As for the new difficulty setting that they added, I haven't noticed that much difference between the medium and the hard difficulty. Like, I feel like sometimes I'll play a game against career mode and it will just be so hard, and then I'll check the difficulty and then it was on medium, and then the next game I'll switch it to hard and then it'll be the easiest game ever. So I don't know, I can't really tell the difference, which is a little disappointing. Maybe it's because I just have a bunch of max legendary players and that feature is just not for me. But I feel like they could make a feature for those players and just, like, make an even harder difficulty. You can have medium, hard, and, like, extreme, which is actually challenging for people that have max legendary players anyway. I feel like there's potential with this difficulty setting, possibly in future updates, but I don't think they executed that well for this one. Which brings me to the last gameplay feature that was added in Dream League Soccer 2025, which was that you can now play other events with real teams, and I absolutely love this change. This is something I've been wanting for quite a while, just because it lets us play with real teams. I always like those real team events, but I would have liked playing the other formats with them, have more balanced teams, and so yeah, you know, people with better teams don't have as much of an advantage. Everybody starts out with the same team, and it sort of changes the dynamic, and I would love to play other event types with it, and we got to play win streak events with it. So if that continues and we can see other events with real teams, although I don't know about endurance events with real teams, because the stamina would be abysmal, man. I don't know about that one. But yeah, win streak events, obviously the challenge events, and then even cup events with real teams I think would be really super fun. And I would also like to have challenge events that aren't real team events back, you know. But like before real team events, I feel like that'd be a cool throwback. But yes, it was a genuine surprise when I saw you could pick real teams for that win streak event, and you get approval from me for such games. Good job on this one. And with that, that is every single new feature in Dream League Soccer 2025 that I wanted to talk about in this review. So all there's left to do is to just give my final thoughts, anything I haven't said yet, and to rate this update out of 10. So overall, I think this was a pretty solid update. A lot of things that I, along with the Dream League Soccer community, have been wanting, like classic players, increased accommodation, and the difficulty setting, were given to us in this update. even if they weren't implemented exactly how I imagined, they still exist, so I have to give it to First Edge Games for that. At least they tried, right? There didn't seem to be any big blunders in this update. I mean, maybe you guys can disagree, but at least in my opinion, there wasn't any. I remember in Dream League Soccer 2023, I didn't like scenarios. I've since changed my opinion on scenarios. But yeah, in Dream League Soccer 2024, they had Dream Draft. I haven't changed my opinion on that. I still don't like it. But in 2025, the only thing I can really criticize heavily of First Edge Games was the whole 97 Rodri incident, which I think has been resolved. I don't really know what's going on in that front, honestly. A 97 Rodri is just for aesthetics. It's not even a better card than a 96 overall Rodri, where you don't upgrade as much fitness. I think arguably the 96 version is actually better in that way. So I don't really mind, but like I thought plus 11 was gone. Like why not check this? I don't know. This was a little bit on the blunder side, but I can forgive it just because I think 96 Rodri with less fitness is probably just a better card anyway. Anyway, with all that being said, I will be giving this update a solid 7.5 out of 10. Now, before you yell at me in the comments saying that that's way too high of a rating, just hear me out, okay? You have to remember that this is Dream League Soccer we're talking about, okay? I wouldn't say this is necessarily a 7.5 out of 10 in just a game update in general, but for a Dream League Soccer update, this was a pretty darn good update, okay? I think it deserves a 7.5. It brought classic players back to the game for free, might I add, more rewards, and did not cause harm to the original game. It is definitely better than the last 2 yearly updates, so I think the 7.5 rating is fair. I think it's fair. And for everybody who says that this is the worst Dream League Soccer ever, I think it's most likely because you've just been playing the game for so long and you've progressed through it so much to the point where it's just not as fun anymore. So you're sort of just saying it as the game in general, not necessarily this update itself. And that's what I'm reviewing in this video. The update itself deserves a 7.5, maybe even an 8 out of 10. And I think First Touch Games, you did a great job this year, okay? It was good. But as always, you are welcome to disagree with me or tell me anything else I've missed in the comments below. But with that, that is the end of my Dream League Soccer 2025 review. Thank you guys for watching. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys in the next one.